If you are an empath who is highly attuned to other people's emotions and needs, then this video will help you understand yourself better. It will explain to you how your childhood shapes you as an empath. It will explain to you how your childhood affects your current adult life and how you show up in this world. I'm also going to show you how you can reverse that. But first, a question. Is being an empath nature or nurture? I kind of see it as both nature and nurture, even though I'm leaning a little bit more towards nature. From my spiritual perspective, I feel that we choose to be an empath this lifetime because we have work to do here. We have a purpose. Some of us are here because we have something to teach and share with other people. We are like teachers. Others may be here to support and help people by uplifting them. They are the light workers. They are here to illuminate the darkness. When it comes to nurture, I see it as that our souls pick certain family that either help us or push us to develop our empathic skill. Sometimes we may pick parents who are psychic and empath themselves. We learn from our parents and develop our psychic and empathic abilities early in our life so that we can teach others to do the same. Or some of us may use our ability to help others navigate their difficulty in life by reading their energy, by being psychics and mediums. But more often than not, what I realized that we empaths end up in a family that causes us to have some form of childhood trauma. For example, we may have abusive or narcissistic parents, or we may have absent or emotionally immature parents. From an egoic point of view, you may be wondering, why do we want to do that? Why do we want to come here and suffer? It makes no sense at all. But from a spiritual perspective, it's actually a fast track for developing our empathic abilities. Having this experience so young helps us to grow and expand much faster. We can also share our experience to others who experience the same experience as us to help them understand their journey in a more meaningful way. Whether your initial path is one of light or darkness, there is purpose for both. The beautiful thing about this universe is it expands from multiple angles. We can tackle the same problem with different vantage points. So how our childhood shapes our personality as empath? Early in our life, many empaths were taught to take care of other people's needs, and that causes us to be very highly attuned to other people's needs and emotions. Now as an adult, you may feel lost in life because you focus too much on other people and meeting their expectation. You don't know what your true desire or purpose are. A large part has to do with your childhood, and there are many ways a childhood can shape us. If you feel emotional neglect as a child, or your family didn't mirror your emotion back to you for whatever reason they may have. For example, you may have a sick or absent parents, or you have a narcissistic parents, or your parents are just not very in tune with their own emotion and they are not in tune with your emotion. Then what happens is you don't know how you feel. You don't know what your emotions are. You may also feel that your needs and emotions are not as important. Subconsciously, you develop this belief that other people's needs and emotions are more important than you. Like in my case, my mom is quite a people pleaser. She says yes to a lot of things, but she doesn't have enough resources to help everyone. Then she will rely a lot on her immediate family, which is us, for her needs. From young, my mom will come to me with her problems like financially and emotionally, but I'm just a teen. I feel like there is a parent and child role reversal. From young, I have to learn how to be independent and to take care of her needs. Because if I don't take care of her needs, she doesn't feel safe, she doesn't feel happy, then I won't feel safe and happy. Can you see this interesting dynamic here? It's a very weird relationship. I have to take care of my caretaker so that I can be taken care of by my caretaker. Most empaths learn this as they grow up. They need to keep other people happy and safe so that they can have a happy and safe environment to live in. The focus is never here. The focus is always outside on other people. We develop this habit of reading other people's energy to make sure that their energy doesn't affect us. And we continue this trend in adulthood. We don't know what our emotions are because we didn't receive enough mirroring when we are young. We think other people's emotions are our emotion because that is where we give most of our attention to. For those of you who may be physically or sexually abused, you may not feel safe in your body. You don't want to be in your body. And this pushes your focus and energy from the lower three chakras to your upper three chakras. You became more connected with the energetic realms than the physical realm, which causes you to feel very detached from your body. And if you're someone who is abused as a kid, you constantly have to put your attention externally because you need to assess the risks and threats around you. Likewise, you develop this habit of focusing outside of yourself to keep yourself safe. When you become an adult, and if you have not made peace with your body and the energy of your lower three chakras, the external stimulation will feel extremely overwhelming for you because all these physical sensations you feel in your body will make you feel very uncomfortable. And to not wanting to feel them, you may turn to addictions such as overeating and alcohol to numb and suppress them. But this is not a viable solution in the long run. For those of us who are abandoned or don't have enough physical touch, you may not have a good sense of self. Imagine if you are a baby and you're crying and your parents don't come and soothe your emotion. First, they don't mirror back to you that you're upset. It's as though your emotions are not important. But more importantly, it doesn't help you develop a sense of self. You don't know what your emotions are, you don't know that you're upset, and you're not very aware of your body. Because touch doesn't only help to release chemical like oxytocin, it helps you feel the physical boundary of your body more concretely. Even though when we hug our parents, we experience bonding, but it's two separate bodies coming together. That is you and this is me. You are the parents and you help me soothe my emotion. There is this physical differentiation and separation. This will help us know where we begin and where we end from a physical and emotional point of view. But if the child has to cry themselves to sleep and left alone to fend for themselves, they don't know what these physical sensations are. They don't receive nurturance from these lower three chakras, and they don't get a chance to develop these chakras. They will then have to depend a lot on their upper chakras to compensate for the lack of development of the bottom three chakras. They will have to rely more on their imagination and tap into the spiritual realm for support. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when we become adult, we may find it difficult or challenging to show out in this world that focuses more on the physical, tangible, and practical aspect. We will always appear to be like head in our clouds and not very here in our body. However, this is also precisely how empaths become more intuitive and sensitive to energy. And this is how we develop our empathic skill. This is also why we are usually more spiritually awakened earlier in our lives. It's because we don't have a good sense of self. Our egos are so fluid and impressionable and easily affected by others. So during spiritual awakening, people often have to let go of their ego and let their ego die somewhat. It's easier for empaths to do so because our ego is not very concrete in the first place. How empath needs to grow spiritually is different from other people. While most people are trying to transcend and move out from their lower chakra to their upper chakra, higher chakra, we kind of have to do the opposite. We have to go from the higher chakra to the lower chakra. We have to go in a reverse direction. We have to learn to be more grounded in ourselves, in our body. We need to learn how to take care of our physical and emotional needs. We need to do this so that there is a balance and so that we don't drift around aimlessly in this physical world. We have to develop a better sense of ourselves instead of depending on others to give us a sense of ourselves. We have to go within and uncover our true authentic self. Instead of going outwards, we have to go inwards. Instead of going upwards, we have to go downwards. We develop our empathic ability very early in life, and now we have to come back home, to our physical home. One thing I like to do to make me feel that I'm more in my body is to tap my body. Like, this makes me feel my physical body more concretely. And it also helped me know what my physical boundaries are. And also later in life, I learned how to acknowledge my emotion. A little by little, I learned how to accept this physical sensation and also uncomfortable emotion. And this helped me grow as an empath. Our childhood shapes the way we show up as an empath. Some of these protective mechanisms we develop as children help us to cope with the situation that we were in at that time, but they may not be as helpful now that we become adults. If you feel like you have not resolved your childhood wound, or you still feel that there is this ongoing emotional and energetic entanglement with your parents, watch this next video for more insights.